clairvoyant. I'm all the clairs. Uh, it's just what I have doesn't turn off. It doesn't go away. I used to have to meditate, and they would show me messages a lot in like a movie form or cartoon form. I closed my eyes, and it would just start playing. Well, that doesn't happen anymore. Now I don't have to meditate at all. Sometimes I just close my eyes, and it's already playing for me. And then I just have to just say, okay, and decipher it for myself and tell them, okay, this is what's going on. That's what I need to do. Yes. And then it'll turn off. It's
So it's a
crazy.
so with that, I guess I would call it a progression or
Yes.
improvement in your abilities. Do you do you attribute that to practice? So you've continued being focused on it, whatever, or would you attribute it to just natural growth and was it as a
Natural
child
growth.
grows?
Yeah, just natural growth because of the commitment that I made to doing this and saying yes to them. In my book, I state that I am in contact at that point, getting touched on my face for yes and no answers by 16 different archangels. Um, I wrote the book a little bit over 3 years ago. Now it's 76, and I know all the names of every single one of them, who's touching my face and when, uh, and what it means, what it has to do with. But it's not just as well as back then. They would put information into my mind maybe 5% of my day.
Mhm.
Now it's 90% of my day. So it's progressed that much in 3 years.
So when you say they're putting information into your mind, 90%
Talking.
versus 5%, yeah, talking to you, so that
That,
you're
I
getting a
mean,
steady
talking.
stream.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I'm getting a steady stream of just, it's so much in my mind now that it is, I don't always see it as being a separate thought being brought in. Now it's coming in as my own thought. Um, but I still ask for confirmation of that, where I'll get something. I'll go, did you guys just tell me? And then when I tell them, they touch me on my face for yes or no, but it's always yes.
So okay,
Yeah.
that's interesting. So it goes back to what you were beforehand. Your original, that was your touching. That was how you knew the communication was
Yeah.
there, and that's carried through to make it
Oh boy.
more
Yeah.
clear.
Yeah. Great. Yeah. And just, not just like I was getting one here and then a couple, one over here and here. Now it's like I'm getting them all over my head, all over my face,
Now,
on
are
my
those
ears, all kinds of places.
is the location of those touches? Do those indicate which archangel it is, or
Yes. Yes.
okay?
So yeah, and 76 different ones. I mean, it's more or less 74. The other two, I get a frequent on as well. I get one touched in the middle, right in the middle of my forehead. That's Jesus. And then there's one other that I've only been touched by 7 times. Uh, uh, and that's something real extreme that comes through, and that's God.
Hmm.
I
And that's
I
on the
mean,
side of your face, you said?
right on my
Oh yeah.
eyelid,
Okay.
right on where the eyelashes are.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
I
interesting.
that one's. I mean, I'll put it this way: you want that touch, but you don't want that touch.
Hmm. Do you,
Oh,
when you say that, so I interpret that as it's one of those. It's kind of like if I get a phone call from somebody that I haven't heard
correct.
from for a long time, I love to hear from that person, but it's probably
Right.
bad news.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I've seen him now a total of 8 times, and he has spoken to me 8 times. But yeah, that touches for something that I will get some information about, and then when he touches me for that, that's a bad thing.
Hmm.
And you would
Well,
think, well, with God, it's going to be something wonderful, but no.
well, would you? And that's just from my own, like, because if you think about God as in being the way I see it, at least from my perspective, it's never, it's not necessarily a good or bad. It is,
Correct.
So
Yeah,
what
just
we
is.
perceive is good. Yeah. So.
Yeah, he just is. Just they just and even with spirit, they just are where they are. They just are. They just be. Yeah, but he is not one to oh God, please I want to pray to you so you can cure my cancer. He's not going to cure your cancer because he knows that your soul is coming here to be in this body knowing what's going to take place and how it's going to connect with the body and see if the body will and the soul will learn from that at the same time. So it knows the body's going to get cancer, but the soul is trying to direct the body to do one of two things. One being sit around with your thumb up your butt all day long and do nothing, or two, and be proactive about it and try to get some results from it. When you're doing that, then you're learning. But still, no matter what, either choice that you make, you're still going to die because
Mhm.
everybody does. But it's a matter of what you do while being here between that time that you wake up in a baby body and you're going, what? And your mom and dad's going, I'm your mom and dad. And you're going, I don't know who the heck you are, but okay. And they raise you and then they teach you the ways of the world. And it depends upon what you're going to do from that time you wake up until the time that you leave here, and the importance of that, hopefully learning all your lessons, but then again, like I probably talked before, about fulfilling your purpose. So, and if you
Right.
don't,
Finding what.
and yeah, try to work through that purpose being we're all here to help each other just for the sake of helping. It's not about becoming a doctor or a lawyer or making millions of dollars. If you make millions of dollars, great, but it's what you do with that money. If you're just going to spend it on yourself and have steak dinners every night, then no, you're going to come back and come and do this all over again. But if you're
Right.
going to go out and help people, that's something different. Punching your
Nice.
ticket.
So we jumped right into it, and as we were talking, I have a memory, so like, I was like, oh yeah, it's really good.
I
But
barely do anymore. Yeah. Well,
let's
then,
back it up just a little bit though, just
yeah,
for the sake of the audience, in your book
sure.
and your history.
It's extensive. Yeah, as far as even with a memory, I'm losing a lot of my memory uh, because of the information that they bring me is so it's constant all the time. There's not a lot of space left for my actual memories anymore. I mean, people ask me some things about my book, and I have to refer back to the book because I can't remember it.
Yeah, I feel like with the amount of information just my day to day, and I don't feel that I receive messages from angels or anything. Like that's a lot. So it's kind of that's
Yeah,
what notebooks are
nobody.
for. And
Yeah, no one, regular people are not going to you'll receive messages that are coming from that place. It's a collective thought that'll be brought to you, brought to your spiritual guides, which is going to be brought to your soul, and then which is brought to you. I mean, just in the fashion of you looking left or right, or your eyes looking left or right. That is your soul that is controlling your eyes to do that. The brain only makes all the little parts work. It doesn't hold the memories. It doesn't hold anything. Uh, as well as some, I've been talking to some people who say, "Oh, I'm doing psychedelic drugs now, and I'm getting the higher consciousness." No, you're not. You're actually that's a psychedelic trip that your brain is taking, and your consciousness is not your brain. It's your soul. I mean, if that were not the truth, then how come spirit can talk to us and they don't have a physical brain anymore? So, but more or less, it's your consciousness is everything that makes you who you are. And so, and that's a lot, but yeah, it's your we get messages all the time, but are people getting messages from archangels or even what archangels call lesser angels because they have less responsibility? Are they getting messages from them? No, because I mean, I'm having to tell people now, you don't have a guardian angel following you around. People only use that term out of their own ego because they want the angel to follow them around and fix certain things that they want fixed. Well, if they were going to fix something, why wouldn't they fix your entire life? Everything that you've ever done and everything else you have screwed up. Why wouldn't they do that? Why do you only want them to fix the bullet points? It's not going to work that way. So you don't have a guardian angel following you around because if you had one following you around, guarding you from everything, what would you learn?
Mhm.
You would learn nothing.
That's a really cool way to look at that. And it's logical, which resonates with me. Uh, that idea, like how you just put it out, like, all right, well, if you got a guardian angel following you around, like, why wouldn't your life be perfect? And at what point do you have any accountability for yourself? Like,
Oh,
like,
absolutely.
what's the point of living if you've just got somebody just carrying you throughout life?
Yeah.
So what would, okay, so if one's not to subscribe to that, if you're if that's not existent, But is there a sort of protection or like that?
No,
No, is it
no,
okay?
no.
So what's like?
Your life is going to be what if you in well, in a sense, they will give you some type of thing to possibly keep you from doing, but you have free will. In a sense, like I probably said before, if you're driving in a car and you see a car in front of you and say, "Oh, I want to pass that car," but then you get a gut feeling that says, "Don't pass the car." Well, that's your soul telling you don't pass the car. But not everybody listens to that. They sometimes just go, "Oh, I can pass it. I'll get around it," and they go around it, and then boom, they get into an accident. They
Mm,
were trying to prevent you, but you also have free will. You can also make the choice. But again, God did not give you, He gave us all free will. And you're not going to be punished and put in some horrible place for what He gave you in order for you to make choices of your life.
mhm.
Just because the choices you make may be good for you, but they may not be good for me. In that vein, Hitler killed a whole bunch of people. Well, that was his choice to do. He could have made a better choice, but he didn't. But does that absolutely mean he's going to now die and his soul is going to go to some bad place or that low energy realm? No, because his soul can choose to go wherever it wants to go. But what it does mean is he will have to come back and do this all go over again. Now he would not find that out till he crossed over, but at that point, his soul is now a bright, white, loving soul again. It doesn't retain the pain, anger, sorrow, grief, guilt, anguish, and all that stuff. It remembers everything and has the experiences of it, everything that was learned. But that's what the soul is meant to do, is to go back home and report that back to tell them, hey, this is what I did. And they go, well, yeah, but you use your free will a little bit too much there, Hitler. But he's no longer really Hitler, but he is. He's still, he is himself, but he is now different because he no longer has the pain, anguish, sorrow, grief, guilt, anguish, and all that stuff. And he's just there, and I go, well, you didn't do quite right what we wanted you to do. But so we're going to have to send you back again. And he'll be like, okay, cool, because I get to go back to that human place and do all these human things again. And hopefully I'll get it right. And they give him a bunch of information, and then he'll have to come back again. He'll wake up in a brand new baby body going, well, and then hopefully he will get it correct this time. And if he doesn't, he'll do it again and again and again and again until you do get it correct.
You know that that's
It's not right and wrong, just correct.
no. I think yeah. It's so when you first started talking about that, I was thinking of okay, if we're not going to think about it, and it's just from a philosophy of good, bad, punishment, whatever. How my understanding of Christianity in
Yeah,
general
yeah.
works,
Well,
but
people punish people. I'm
yeah, and
not. No,
that's kind of
I'm not saying that the negative energies don't punish people, but they punish them for a different reason than punishing for something they did here. It's not. That's not about that. But yeah, I understand what you're saying.
yeah, and I think that's kind of the thing. Like we're assigning how we experience the world. It's our perspectives that come
Yes.
into play. So if I were to think that okay, ultimately my soul or me as my soul wants to not come back to the body, I'm going to think about it as a punishment. But I think you put it in a way how
Well,
you
you
stated coming back to the human body, like you get to experience those things as even though in that case of Hitler, you said Hitler would have to come back and the crying baby and stuff, but you also said he gets to experience those things. So I think it's a
yeah.
good perspective in the
Well,
sense of
in a sense, he being a bright white loving soul again, you're all about love and you're all about positivity, and he will have to do this over again. But at that point is he doesn't get to choose if he has to come back again. He has to come back again because he
right.
didn't get it right. So he has to come back. And but he's excited to do it because he gets to do all these wonderful things. Now, but we don't always know what those wonderful things are going to be because you've been here many, many, many times. You're here now because you've been to heaven and you had to come back. Everyone who's here now has been to heaven. They all had to come back, and they've been to heaven multiple times. The only way you would not make it back into heaven is if you stayed in that low energy earthbound place and then you didn't return home. Now you could return home anytime you want to, but you got to want to do it. And a lot of them just don't know they can, or a lot of them are lost, or what have you, or they just made their own decision to stay where they are because they know there's a possibility they might have to come back again, and maybe they don't want to. But you return home. It's when you return home that you will find out if you have to come back again. Or you ask me, because I'll know. So, and I don't know many. I don't know. I'm asking and them. I don't know any mediums that can do that for you.
Any, I'm
None
sorry,
of
what
them.
was the word?
I don't know any other mediums who can do
Mediums.
that for you. They don't know.
Hmm. So is that when you talk about purpose and things that have to be done? So I think of this in a couple different ways.
Sure.
So in terms of purpose, if it's, you're kind of living along the way and there's a long-term universal path of existence. So the question is,
Long term.
right. So
Long term.
and and in that path, like if it's predetermined or not predetermined, I mean, for as long as that path is, it doesn't matter, I guess, at the end of the day. But
Not predetermined because of choice, but everyone else's that I know of is not predetermined. Mine is.
predeter would yours, so yours is predetermined in the sense of purpose or predetermined in the sense of every step like this phone call is predetermined?
Everything that is coming out of my mouth right now, even when I make flubs and stuff like that, is all predetermined from archangels, because of me. I gained new knowledge of why that is happening. Um, in a sense, I'm kind of like a human robot, where this information that is provided to me, um, is kind of strange. So everything I'm saying right now, but even though I will ask them questions, they actually put that question in my mind for me to ask, so they know exactly what I'm going to ask at that time, and they will answer it at the time. It's very strange.
Hmm.
It's
Yes.
even everything throughout my entire life and every one of my lives was predetermined on how it was going to happen. But I still have choice, but my choice was that one choice that I made to move forward with this or not move forward with this was my one choice.
Is that your one choice in every life?
Yes,
Okay.
because now, although I don't know if I explained this part of it, did I explain the part about me being the light?
In our last conversation, but please explain it again.
Okay, so um, when anyone dies, you'll stand up out of your body, you'll look down, you'll see your body, you go, I don't need that anymore. You'll take a step to the left, you'll look to the right, and a light will turn on for you. Now, that light is not specifically just a light bulb that turns on. That light is a portal, a space opening for you to go into the light of what we call the light into heaven. And that light will is the guide or the hallway sense to going to heaven. Your soul will just go and you'll just go. Now, no one goes directly to heaven. You will go to a holding place that they will go over your life with and let you know, if you have to go, if you can stay home, or if you have to come back again. Uh, but then you'll be in heaven for a little while. Uh, if you die over the age of 30 years old, you won't come back until 80 years later. But that's 80 Earth years, whereas 80 years there is much slower. It's kind of like going on a really short vacation and then you come back again. If you die over the age of or under the age of 30, you will come back 8 years later again. And only 8 years later in their time is way. It's like, and then you're back again. Um,
Hmm.
but that portal, that light, that is the light into heaven. Now, uh, the way that it works for everyone else is you will go if you go home and you stay home, you're there, and you have to come back. You come back through that light again, that same portal to come into a body to be born again. I'm not going to say reborn because that's a bunch of bullcrap, but to be born into another because it is, be born in another body, and then you start your new life over again. My soul does not. My soul, um, each time that it is in a body, uh, no matter what body it is in, when that body terminates, then the soul, then another body is automatically born, and it just goes right into it and born and wah, baby again, and then grows up again, and many, many, many lives. Okay, now um, the light, that light that we see, that's the light into heaven. That light shines all the time. Okay. And the reason why that it shines all the time, not just for it to, it has to be on so that person's portal can be made and they can go home. And 130,000 people die every day. We're just waiting our turn. And then two, so that all other spirit can see the light. Okay. They can see, it's hard for them sometimes because they see the light of everyone else who's there and everything else that is there, because I don't just see people. I see dogs, cats, horses, cows, fish, other beings from other worlds, and I see a lot of them there as well. These other beings and stuff. They're just, but everything that any spirit that talks to me, I hear everything in English. So I've seen some things that look like a Wookiee from Star Wars, and they were talking to me. It was English. I had a dog talk to me a couple of weeks ago, English. So they had to be able to see that light. So they had to sometimes look over or past everyone else is there, and there's gazillions. As many that cross over, there's that many that don't. There is gazillions, and I'm not. Yeah, plants, all kinds of stuff. So um, they have to kind of look past it, but they can see that light in the background. They have to be able to see it. So it that it has to be on all the time. Not only does it have to be seen, but it has to be heard. So in other words, that soul that leaves each body and goes into the next body, it's in a physical body. Because it's in a physical body, it can also communicate with them and can hear them. So all spirit have to see them and be able to hear them, and then also be directed by them to go into the light or not go into the light. And that soul that is the light into heaven is me. So
Okay.
my soul's been here since the beginning. But apparently, I just learned this about maybe two. Let's see. Let me ask them 2.5, 3. No, 2.5 years ago. I'm actually asking them. They're touching me for answers. 2.5 years ago, they told me that um, they told me it's hard to say because so they told me God asked all of his archangels to step forward. He needed one of them to step forward to come here and be the light on this planet. So apparently, I stepped forward and said, "I'll do it, Dad." I don't call him Dad because I call him Father, because he is. But and then I said yes, and then here I am, and I've
Okay.
been here since the beginning of time here. Not really time, before time because we didn't always have time, and then, but like in the end of my book, my book doesn't say the end. It says 2332 because that's the end. And when this place comes
Okay.
to an end, we'll start on a new place. I won't go to that new place and be the light there. Someone else will go there. But I'm only the light here for this sort of planet. But I see other beings in that low energy place. But they came from another planet of which they had their own light for their own beings at that planet. That's all. But it's all intertwined, connected.
How does Thank you for that. How does
It's a lot.
yes, yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I
How does
learned to
space
accept it.
how does space work in that? Not space isn't outer space, but distance space, because you talk about different planets, beings from other planets. Are we talking about from different solar systems, or
Yes,
are we talking about
absolutely.
different universes?
Yeah, it's all tied together. We don't think it is, but that's because we don't think it is because we are at a stage of our existence that we haven't learned to leap from one galaxy to another, while where other beings and other ships can do that. It's a
Hmm.
matter of here and then there that quick. We haven't
And then
learned how to do that.
And then as far as travel, because and I
I
don't
mean,
know if you specifically said that here. I don't think you did, but I think in our last talk you specifically said that everybody who dies goes through you. Or did I miss?
correct. Yeah. So
Okay.
anyone who dies or everything that dies goes through me to either go home or go to this other they're there. So once they leave out of their body, you're in what they tell me, or as I call it, the in between. So you're in between going either home or staying here as a in the lower energy realm or earthbound place. I don't recommend it. It's
Being in
I've
between.
seen yeah. Well, the in between is everyone's going to be there, but you're going to be there for like this much time.
Mm.
Ready?
Oh,
Done.
you're talking about starting the
Yeah,
lower Earth realm place. You're talking
yeah,
about. You
yeah.
don't
So
recommend. Gotcha.
here's the lower. Here's heaven. The light will turn on for you. It's not just a place you can just walk into. You have to go into that light. If you decide you're not going to go into that light will turn off, and then you'll be here in this low energy place.
Forever.
It's uh, forever's not forever. So as I know, again,
Sorry,
I
till
looked that up.
2332.
Well, in a sense, yes,
Okay.
but that space that is theirs only lasts what we would consider in our time, as they tell me, 1,000,000 years. And at the end of that point, God goes back over there. I mean, he doesn't have to go far; he's just there. He's everywhere, and he goes in there and tells them, "Okay, anybody else want to cross over? You have one more chance." In that kind of sense, and they're either going to cross over or they're not. And if they don't cross over, they will literally die. And
Okay.
then that place will start up again, and then you'll have a new planet. Um, or not a new planet, but a new amount of time start. So it's so quickly done that it's that million year part that he says, "All right, you coming? Okay, everybody comes. Okay, if you're not coming, you're just going to die." And they go, "Yeah, well, no, we're not." And then boom, they're dead, and then go on to existence at all. And then it
Mm.
starts right back up again. So even though our existence here is millions of years, that has taken place a bunch of times.
So I
He
wonder.
he gives them
It's interesting with.
he gives them a choice to stay there, but I mean, as of like right now, time is going, but he gives them a choice to stay there a certain amount of period of time. But he wants everything to come home.
Mhm.
But he gives you a choice to either come home or not. But then again, you will get that other one last second choice to either go home or not. If you don't go home, you're dead.
Eternally dead. So the.
Gone. Nothing.
Mhm.
No existence.
So in terms of population size, let's just say, if we were to think of this in the terms of a state or a country, uh, and you had everybody die out, and then like how is new energy created, or how are new souls created, or are
It's
they
not.
created? It's not.
It's
Okay,
not.
so is
No,
it a
everything is
finite
being
amount?
yeah, everything. Well, you have whole bunches of solar systems, whole bunches of gazillions of planets, and every one of those planets has life on it. And that life is enough that can be basically um, reincarnated or what we would think recycled. But you are, there's enough people that right now, even just people, you go home, you have to come back again. You go home, you have to come back again. You
Mhm.
just keep coming back. He doesn't need to create new ones at this very moment because there are so many that have to be recycled all the time. There are many who do get to go home and stay home. Um, I will. So when I see into this low energy place, there are times when I'll see like it looks like I'm standing on a balcony and I'm seeing people walk past me like in a parade form, okay? And it's like a couple of hundred people across, but I can see that parade coming from what looks like, I don't know, 100 miles away, maybe more. And
Mhm.
I see them coming down, winding down, and they're coming. But it's so many of them. And then I'm just sitting there watching them. They're walking very slowly, but they're all walking. They're talking to each other, communicating with each other. They're not communicating like we are because it's all telepathy. They walk past me, and some of them walk past and just keep going, and a lot of them walk past and do this.
Like look away from you, or
No, they're
look
looking
towards
right
you?
at me. They're looking
Okay,
right
looking
at
towards you.
me, and
Okay.
they can see the light, but it's what they see. So when spirits see you, they see your body frame, okay? They see your body frame, and then they see a light inside of you. They see that's your soul. They see that other light. At that moment, it's still just a light, sort of, but looks like a little bit like a person, so they can see your previous incarnation inside of you. Because the soul that's inside of you now doesn't look like you; it looks like you the last time that you were here. Uh, but
But
it's you. Just
when you say
it's
it
just
looks
the
like
previous
me
version.
the last time I was here, like would that
Correct.
be every time it looks like me the last time I was here, or do I
Yeah,
look the same?
except for the first time. The
Okay.
first time you were incarnated into any body, it was just a figure of light. That's all it was. And then you start the process of being in that first body, and if that first body didn't get it done, you go home, and then you have to come back. And when it comes back, it's the soul who was that person or whatever what that animal was, everything. Because people come back as people, dogs come back as no one's going to heaven and going, oh, I'm going to come back next time and I'm going to be an eagle. It doesn't work that way. Uh,
So I wanted to ask you about that because
yeah,
you said reincarnation and what was the other word you used?
being recycled.
Yeah, or yeah,
Yeah.
restored
Nobody wants to hear that part, but okay.
right. So, but I guess what would you say is the difference between reincarnation and how you describe it?
Nothing. It's just you're just coming back. That's all you're doing. You're coming
Okay, so
back.
maybe I misheard you before. I thought you had
No,
said
no,
that.
no, you didn't miss her. It's just it's there, I try to give it in different kinds of ways,
Mm,
but it all means the same thing
okay,
because not
okay.
everybody understands. Not everybody believes in reincarnation or I mean, but some people have deja vu all the time. They go, "Oh, I feel like I've been here before." Well, yeah, it's because you have been here before. That's why. That's so
Mm.
yeah, but
That's
simple, but not.
yeah. No, I think so. I like that. wh- And the reason I asked about that distance thing coming through, because if everybody's traveling to you, it is. I get my head gets wrapped around these like, well, how's this work? Are we folding time and space? What's happening here?
Sometimes when I'm just staring off into space, just kind of looking whatever, like I'm waiting for my wife to do something. Like I'm sitting there in Walmart or something. I'll just stare off into space, and I will see clouds go in my face,
Mhm,
and that's who or whatever is crossing through. Sometimes I see that. Sometimes I see something that other people witness at the same time, and they will see flashes of light go off around me.
mhm,
Or they will someone I've been on camera a couple times, a few times where someone would see something go a little tiny, like a little orb or something like that go in my head and then disappear, doesn't come out the back end, just goes.
well,
But it's going
so
through me. But to
nice.
them on that balcony, I look like this figure. They don't just see my frame. They don't see that at all. They see a figure, what looks like kind of human, but you can't see my face. I'm just pure light. Like if you watch that movie Cocoon,
Mhm,
where the aliens were those pure figures of light, that's what I look like.
okay.
Except no eyes. No eyes.
Is
It's just light.
that do you do you think so? You had talked about you're being an archangel. Would that
Yeah.
be the figure of the archangel, or you as an archangel versus your frame?
That is, yeah, that I mean that's the figure of the archangel, but a combination of that archangel and me at the same time. But again, they won't see my face. No one
Mm,
does. But uh I'm the very beginning one that came in was Archangel, and then each time then I just retained the shape of each person that I was in. So when I go to heaven, because I'm going this time, I haven't been in since I don't know forever on this world.
mm,
I will go home. This is my last time. I will retain me. I will still be me, but I'm going to have a shit ton of memories of every single lifetime that I have ever been here. And it's kind of like anything else. You just have all your memories, but you are still you.
mhm,
It's just you're just different. But yeah, but you'll have a better understanding of where you are and that you're connected to you're connected to this table or the plants outside and a tree and the rocks and the sand and you're connected to everything and you feel it. It's like a buzzing sensation. And you're going to go, Holy mackerel. But yeah.
Yeah, that's congratulations that you're going home this time. That
Yeah. I'm glad that I don't just ask questions for people and get answers for people. I ask for myself all the time. I
mm,
mean, I wake up in the morning. Now I used to do it differently. I wake up now and I ask them the first thing that comes up because I'm diabetic. I have to take medicine. The first thing I think of, I just do this and think of it in my mind, and they tell me yes or no whether or not I'm taking all my medications today. I used to just pick up a pill bottle and look at it and go, "Am I taking my this medication? No. Okay, put it down. Pick up the next one. Yes. Oh, okay. I'll take the pill.
mm.
I do that for everything in my life. I don't ever not sway from that. They tell me to do something, I do it. I wanted to take a ride on my motorcycle yesterday. They said no because I needed to work on stuff with this. So I did this instead. It
A
was a
remarkable
beautiful day out.
connection. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
beautiful.
yeah. But you have to be committed to that. And people don't want to do that. They want to only pick and choose. They want bullet points. They don't want to do everything, and that's
Yeah,
hard. I get it, but you have to do it.
absolutely.
Or not. You don't have to do it. You'll just come back and do this shit all over again.
It's entirely up to you. Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, absolutely. God does not punish you. You know, we punish ourselves by the choices that we make. So absolutely. And again, He's not going to punish you to some horrible place or anything like that because that place, in that sense, you're not going to be punished for what you did here, but you will go to that place, and some of them are okay with it, but some of them are. I've seen some horrible beings doing horrible things to spirit there. Uh, like a lot of people don't know that when you're in spirit there, still having your pain, anguish, sorrow, grief, guilt, anguish, and all that, you still feel physical pain. Now, it's not something that's going to break your arm, but I saw a being choking another one, and he was feeling it. I mean, his eyes were popping out of his head, and then he
Mm.
dragged him off into that lower, deeper realm to keep them there to collect energy from them because they need that. The bad ones do. So but,
Is
yeah, it's not a great place.
is there any this is so this gets me into like
I've seen worse things than that lately.
logistics in the sense of like I feel like there's poor management going on if people are like what's the law like not law but I mean like what kind of is it a fend for yourself Wild West type thing because if you're talking about some spirit from the lower earth dragging spirit from the was that from the waiting area right or it wasn't from heaven right
No, that's just from being there.
right okay so is that kind of a Wild West fend for yourself, or or is it a matter of spirits coming together and helping each other? Is there a potential for that? Am I asking
Um,
too big of a question?
no, I'll explain it. So, I saw some beings, about 8 or 9 months ago that were I can only describe. So if you've ever seen a murder mystery and when there's a dead body laying on the grass, the police come up and they do an outline of the body on the floor, okay?
Mhm.
And then they pick the body up and take it wherever they go because it doesn't make a difference anymore. Because you can go to a funeral and pay respects to people, but you should pay respects to your people when they're alive because when they're gone, I mean, you're going to have a harder time getting a hold of them. They may not want to talk to you, and it depends upon where they go. Uh, so when you see that line on the ground, I saw some beings that look like that. They look like outline beings. One of them was about 8 feet tall. The other two were about maybe 6, 7 feet tall. And they were walking around beating the crap out of these other souls, punching them, kicking them, strangling one. His eyes were popping out of his head. Now, I see that taking place, but I don't feel sorry for those souls because they made a choice to be where they are. Okay. Now, I want them to go home. But at this moment, I'm watching this taking place. And my life is sometimes like watching the most worst, horrific, unimaginable horror movie you could ever watch, and you can't turn it off.
Mm.
It turns off whenever it's going to turn off those things. That's not always what I see, but I do see that. Okay. So I saw these beings. Now, again, so they were outlined. So it was a white outline, but the outline was switching it was glowing from white to yellow and then to red. Now, when I see red, I know that that is a negative energy. Now, I saw them just walking around first. Plus, they had these little squiggly lines inside of them inside the body part of it. Um, so if you were to just like draw, like I said, like you're drawing a depiction of on paper and you just take the outside and draw the outline, that's what they look like. Nothing inside except for the squiggly lines. And the squiggly lines were also going from white to yellow to red. When I see anything glowing red, I know that is a negative energy. Sometimes I see just a mist. Sometimes I just see them glowing red and their misty red all around them is horrible. So these things were punching, kicking, beating the crap out of these things, and then grabbing them. Now, all most energies I see, most I won't say all, but most energies I see, they're wearing clothes.
Mm.
Why they're wearing clothes? Because they are pure energy. They can manipulate themselves to be as they were comfortable being. They're all, a lot of them died with clothes on. A lot of them didn't, but they can still make themselves look like that. So they were grabbing these beings, grabbing them by the arms and heads, and just dragging them back to this place.
Mm.
These beings, one of them walked up to me, the biggest one, and he came right up to me and got not too far away, but I mean, not too close, but at a distance. They can't come directly in front of me. They don't have the ability to do that because I'm protected by archangels all the time from all negative energies. I could walk into any haunted house. They can't touch me, pinch me, poke me, scratch me, nothing.
Mm.
Nothing. Now, regular spirit can. They can touch up who ones who are just regular and who aren't horrible. Now, not everything there is horrible. Some of them just made a choice for themselves. Old people, all kinds of fish, dogs, whatever, and they'll touch me or something like that. But it feels different. It feels like a little buzzing feel,
Mm.
or a little pinch or something like a little buzzing feel. So this one walks up to me, and I said to him, "Well, you're not going to get anything from me, buddy, because he sees my light. He thinks I'm a freaking power source. I
Mm.
am, but I'm to be the light so that they can all see me, hear me, feel, and communicate with. And and they he says, and I said, you're not going to get anything from me, buddy. And if you don't get out of here, I'm going to make my family mojo your butt out of here. And he went like this. He looked up around me and he said, I knew who they are. I said, yeah. And you know they are stronger than you.
Mm.
So get gone. I said, if you don't, I'm going to tell them to mojo your butt out of here because I know that you can't touch me, and you know
Mhm.
I know that you can't touch me. So leave. And
Right.
then his two buddies walked up, and then I heard him say again in English to me. He said, "Yeah, we can't get anything from here. Let's go." And they all
Mm.
turned around. Now, it I see their feet kind of turn around, but their bodies didn't actually turn because not again a lot of these mediums they just don't know what they're talking about. What is in front of you is behind you at the same time. So, like in a way, I was meditating one time when I was doing that because I don't do it anymore. I don't have to. I'm always in connection with them, and I always see either whatever place I want to see whenever I want to see it. Uh, and I saw a guy run up to me, and he ran up to me and said, "Hey, are you Irish?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm Irish." He said, "Okay," and he ran behind me. I didn't have to turn around, but I could see him running behind me. So it looked like he
Mhm.
went like that, like
Right.
and just like that. But that was kind of cool. But it takes a while to get used to it, but now I'm just used to it. But yeah, these things just kind of like I saw his feet kind of like move, but he just went. It's like he came forward but went backwards, but he wasn't going backwards because he was
Mm.
going forward. But forward is backwards, backwards is forward, whatever. So you're just in one space. You just see it all the same
Hmm.
way.
I
But it's
wonder if
weird to
that.
see them moving around and stuff like that. But they don't always. These guys were actually walking. Where a lot of them they just mm, come in. So it's kind of strange.
I wonder if I don't know. We talked about choices that people or that the spirits or the souls will make along the way, and whether they
Yeah.
go to heaven or not. I wonder if that choice is kind of visual, perceived in your interactions there, where they're making that choice, and you see the response of the choice, like that turning of the foot or whatever, or that.
Yeah, I can give you a couple examples of that. I had a guy come up to me. They're always coming up to me. But I was
Mm.
sitting at my computer, kind of like this at my desk. I was tired. My bed's behind me, so I turned this same kind of chair around, put my feet up on the bed, And then I was going to lean back and close my eyes and go to sleep. When I did that, I saw a man standing in front of me. He was right there, and but I mean, not that no one can get this close to me except for God. Even archangels are kind of at a distance, like right here, and around me here, except Jesus is right here on my shoulder. And then all other spirit are out here about 5, 6 feet away from me. Okay, so this guy's in front of me, and I said immediately, "Do you want to cross over?" And he said, "No." I said, "Why not?" And then immediately he imprinted a memory on me. Now, but it's like I'm in a dream, but I'm him.
Mm.
And I'm like, so I'm him looking around and I see these buildings and stuff and it's dark out. And I'm like, whoa, what's going on here? And then I see a man come running down the street, turn around, point a gun at me. And now his arm, but I'm him, his right arm comes up, points a gun at him, and boom, blows this guy away and kills him. And
Wow.
then sits there for a second, and I'm like, holy crap! And then right back out of me, and then I see him in front of me again, and I was like, holy crap, buddy! I said, but me, I'm so used to it, but that was the first time that happened. I said, so you don't want to go to heaven because you think you murdered this guy. But I get a sense from you that you weren't murdering him. He was chasing you and you were just defending yourself. And he said, yes, but I don't don't feel good about going home because I killed somebody. And I
Guilt.
said, yeah, it doesn't work that way. Yeah, absolutely guilt. You can go home. God is not going to judge you. We judge ourselves 1,000 times a day. Why does he need to do it once more? He doesn't. It's people who want to judge you. People will tell you he judges you, but he doesn't. And those people are coming home back again. But all those religious people have no idea what's in store for them because they're all coming back. So uh, morons. But I'm not calling them a moron because I'm judging them. They're a moron because they choose to be. They could choose differently. That's their problem. Okay.
Mhm.
But so he didn't want to go. And I was like, look, man, you can go. You don't have to worry about that. You can go home. And he's like, well, I don't know if maybe I'll come back again because they know they're aware. Some of them are, a lot of them are, a lot of them don't even know they're dead. So I said, well, you're not going to find that out until you go through. Now, I so I just asked right now that the fast and got touched. He has to come back and do this again. There was other parts in his life he just so, but he told me, he said, no, I don't feel right about it. I said, okay. And then he just walked away.
Hmm.
The horrible part is that part that he imprinted on me now feels like my memory.
Really?
I feel like it's like I did it. I know I
Mm.
didn't do it, but in the same sense, about maybe a month ago, I'm sitting in my room doing the same thing, about to take a nap, and I see a dog in front of me, but I thought I was just seeing again remote viewing because I remote view it just turns on. I don't have any control over it, so it just turns on. And I saw a dog standing there playing with two people, look like a man and a woman, and he's walking up to the woman and he's rubbing up against her, and then. The dad, I guess, is taking a ball and throwing it, and the dog's going to chase it and pick it up and come back, and he's all happy and everything. And he did that a couple times, and then that part went away, and then I saw the dog sitting in front of me. And I was
Mm.
like, "You just imprinted a memory on me, didn't you, dog?" And I heard, "Yes, I did." And I was like, "You miss your mom and dad?" He said, "I do,
Mm.
terribly." I said, "But you've crossed over." And he said, "Yeah." And I said, "But you see me and you just wanted to show me that." He said, "Yeah. When are they coming home?" So he understood it. And I said, "I don't know."
Mm.
I mean,
That's really.
I know, but I don't I'm not supposed to tell them everything.
Mhm.
But
Even
he knows.
after he's crossed over.
Yeah, he's
Mm.
he's they're aware, but so there's some things that they want them to come sooner, I mean, because everyone's heaven is kind of different. Um, they know that eventually you'll be walking through that door, but they're not privy you don't go to heaven and become an angel. And an angel meaning you're privy to whole lots more information, knowing. You don't go to heaven and become an archangel. Become an archangel, you got to go to angel first and then become archangel. And that's a huge, huge commitment. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so and you you go to heaven, you can just do whatever you want to, whenever you want to, go wherever you want to. You can still have make love, you can still kiss, you can all that stuff. But in order to be angel, you give all that up.
Mm-hmm.
And when you get there and you know you can do all that stuff all the time, who wants to give that up, right? But it's about service, about wanting to. Some people will choose to be a spirit guide for someone, and you don't have to give all that up yet. So but, uh, but yeah, this but they don't know everything. They know
Mm-hmm.
they are very aware of where they are. They understand, they can see what's going to take place for us in the next 6 months to a year or something like that, maybe a little bit more. Uh, but they are just a little bit more aware, a little bit smarter than us. They understand why they were here in the first place, being in heaven, and why they had to come back and all that stuff. They understand all that stuff, but they don't understand the more important big picture stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So they're just not meant to. Uh, so people wanting a secret special message from someone in heaven isn't going to get big picture stuff. But most people just want a pat on the back from their mom and dad. Oh, mommy and daddy, am I doing good over here? Well, they don't really even do that. The people who have brought you that are TV and movies and all these other bullcrap fake mediums out there telling you about your soulmate and all that crap. It's not really your soulmate. So, yeah. So this dog was kind of like, I want them to come home. When are they going to come home? And I know the answer, but I can't tell him because he's not meant to know it. So the information that I have that I'm privy to is archangel stuff, and I'm not supposed to give that to everybody. Even even I did a reading a few years ago, doing readings in the mall, and this guy walked past me, and he had his daughter with him, and I got a message from regular spirit that said he's going to die when he's 47 or no 37, and I said okay, um, and uh, and then I said to my guides, should I tell him? No. Why? Because that little girl has to know what it's going to be like to grow up without her dad. And that's a lesson for her to learn that she did not learn previously in her previous life.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of information I get that I have to hold on to it and carry it with me. But in order to get that information, to be privy to that information, I have to be privy to everything as well as that's why I see all that negative stuff because in order to get all the information that I do, I have to be privy and open to everything. See, hear, feel, communicate, touch, smell, sometimes taste because they'll put something through and I go, hmm. But 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 my grandfather came through and I could taste peppermint and smell peppermint. Uh, but because he used to eat peppermints on the porch all the time.
Yes.
But yeah, I have to be open to all that. And when being open to all that, you're not opening up a can of chicken noodle soup. You're opening up the can of worst worms you've ever seen in your lifetime, because you're witnessing some of these like horrific, unthinkable, unimaginable events going on,
Mm.
and you just have to. You're just watching. You can't,
Right.
and you see it happening. You can't do anything about it, but you can't let your emotions get to you. I mean, they do sometimes because spirit will bring in emotions for me when I'm doing a reading for someone to get a certain point across to them, and then immediately I'll go from crying to shuts right off.
Mm-hmm.
But it's but and you have to be okay with that as well. So they are controlling everything about me in order to bring this information out to everybody, and you have to be okay with it. So, and not everybody wants to be controlled like that. So when people come up to me and say, "I wish I had your gift," and I explain some of it, they retract it very quickly. They say, "Oh,
Mm-hmm.
no, I don't want that." Well, then in
Right.
order to have what I have, you have to have that. But you won't have it anyway because it's not meant for you, because it's not meant for everybody. You have this ability or any part of these kinds of abilities because you are meant for it. And it comes through your soul every single time. Not always do you wake up to it, and not always do you say yes to it, but it comes part of you every single time you come here. But There are those of us who are meant to be teachers. Everyone
Mhm.
else is just meant to be a student, and they just need to know that. But
Hmm.
it's hard.
That's that's there's so much I want to go down, but we've been on it for
And
a while, so I'm
hey,
gonna.
keep going.
I will say my girlfriend just came home, so I gotta say hi to her in a bit. But I do want to. This is a good segue into rapping. Tell me about how you help people, like what you do for others.
I'm I am a medium, so I do get answers from people. As I explained to everyone, people come to me because they want an answer from God. I get the answer because I'm talking to archangels, communicating with them. They are the right hand of God. So everything that's coming to me from them is coming directly from God. There's no, I mean, there are sort of a middleman, but it's coming from him to them to me. There's no other involvement by other maybe spiritual guides and all that stuff. I can get information that they need that's going to give them peace of mind and clarity, but also I'm here to give them direction to get through their lives, to learning their lessons and fulfilling their purpose. I'm not here to get a hold of your mom and dad or tell you who your freaking soulmate is because you don't even know what that actually means anyway, people. You just don't. And or that rebranding of it calling the twin flame. That's a bunch of bull
Mm.
crap too. Okay. Or I'm gonna write a picture. I'm gonna draw a picture. That's who you're gonna marry. That's a bunch of crap. Okay. So but I'm here to give you peace of mind and clarity, but direction. Now, I may get some things about you, your mom and dad, but if they don't want to come in and talk to you, they won't. And just because you go to a medium and say, I want to talk to your mom and dad, if you think that's going to happen, or if that medium tells you, oh, I can absolutely do that, what I want you to do is take your money and walk away because they're
Mm.
lying to you because that can't actually happen. That can only happen if they want to do it. But yeah, I do readings for people. I right now I do them once a month up in Tucson, Arizona, at the Psychic Healing Fair in Tucson, Arizona. I'm there, and I do readings for them there. I will do personal readings, and if they want to get a hold of me, um, the reading is 2 hours, sometimes a little bit longer than that. And they can find me at www.spiritmediumdaniel.com. Um, that's what in that sense, I do different kinds of readings where one is it's just a regular reading. Two, some people just want to come in and talk to me and do this, have a conversation about spirit, know all the information. I'll do that. Or three, they are a medium and they are not quite sure what to do with it or where to go, what's the next steps for them to take, and I will guide them to that. I do not do mentorship, but I do have a couple friends who are really good at that, and I will guide them to that person if they want to continue that. But continuing that is, like I said, it's a huge commitment. You can't be 1 foot in and 1 foot out. You can't be thinking you're just going to live a regular life from now on and go on. Just I'll do this every once in a while. No, this is something you are meant to do. This is not something you are meant to do out of your ego because this is not a get rich quick scheme. And if you're going to use it for that, you're not using it for the right thing. And even if you're using it and you're not doing it for the right thing, I will guarantee you will come back and do it all over again. And I
Mm.
know some of those people, but they don't care. They they
Yeah.
they don't care. So, but yeah, they can find me. They can read my book, Beyond the Veil with Daniel Jackson. No, it's actually that's my show. My book is is Daniel Jackson: A New Beginning, My Awakening as a Spirit Medium. They can find it on Amazon. Just go into the search bar and put in Daniel Jackson: A New Beginning, My Awakening as a Spirit Medium. Uh, and they'll see a picture of a man walking into a bright white light. You'll see my name at the top, Daniel Jackson. Uh, and yeah, they can find it on Amazon. It's like I think I sell it for $8 because I'm not trying to make a gazillion dollars. I'm just trying to help as many people as I can. They can join my group on Facebook if they want to do that. I have a group called Spirit Medium Daniel Group. Now, I will tell you, you can try to join. Anybody can try to join, but again, I get touched on my face for yes and no answers. In other words,
Mm.
I am a human lie detector. So if you come in and I look at your name and they tell me no, I hit delete. If they tell me yes, I'll let you in. Why would they tell you no? Because you're someone who's going to try to disrupt that group,
Hmm.
and I and they are not going to have it. I'm
Yeah.
very I'm very direct and very abrupt, but I tell it like it is, whether you like it or not. But you can come in the group if you get in, and you can ask whatever question you want to. I'm very vocal in there right now. Yeah, absolutely, they can do that. Or if they want to see I have we have video content on YouTube. It's at a channel called Beyond the Veil with Daniel Jackson. Um, and I have about 82 videos on there. But a lot of those videos are being converted into smaller shows, and then I'm having new people come on. I'm booking people right now, and we have a bunch of others. And uh, there's a network we're going to be on now that's called newrealitytv.com. It's kind of set up, the front page is kind of set up almost like a Netflix,
Okay.
but it has a whole bunch more of these of places to go and things to choose, and just it's kind of the same but a lot different. There's a lot more choices to do. But yeah, that'll be starting sometime in January. And you can find me there again at Beyond the Veil with Daniel Jackson. It's me sitting there with my hands crossed or my hands in front of me, a little black and white. But you'll see the background. It looks like uh, a boardwalk with these old time lights on it, and it's
Okay.
it's in black and white, and you see the mist in the air, and then eventually the mist, you can't see anything anymore. So in other words, that is our lives. Basically, every day you're walking into the unknown. You might be able to make plans, but you don't know if it's actually going to come through or not. So you're walking into the unknown every day. So, and with that being beyond the veil, because beyond the veil, you don't know what's really going on. But if you want the information about that, you come to watch my show because we talk about all that. Uh, as even with this interview today, that's just the tip of the iceberg. At the tip of the match that I'm going to burn with that show.
Mm,
Yeah, we talk, and I have. It's not just me. I have other guests on there all the time, a lot of authors and other practitioners. But I will tell you, like with anything, when I pick guests for that show, I don't pick them. And
mhm.
as I was putting the ads out recently, people were getting pissed off. Oh, I'm absolutely what you need. And then somebody else will go, "Well, how come he said no?" The reason I said no is, again, because I'll look at the name and I'll say, "Is this a good person for my show?" No. And then I tell them, "Sorry, but not a good fit." And then that person said, "Why would they say no?" And then I said, "Because I don't pick them. Archangels pick them. And if
Mhm.
archangels say no, you're not going to be on, but they're going to be on, it'll say yes." And then people go, "Oh, I resonate with that. I see what you're getting at." So yeah, but that's how I pick them. So everyone who's going to be on my show is someone who I would endorse for everyone else to actually contact, because they are actually good people and are going to help you for the right reasons. They're going to help you
Mhm.
for the reasons of just because, and not just to get all your money, because I'm way, 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 way against that.
Yeah.
But yeah, they can find me on that newrealitytv.com.
That's great. Well, Dan, this has been awesome. I feel like I want to make this like a yearly anniversary, or maybe even more frequently. But in any case, I do.
You want to do anytime you want to do it again, you let me know. Well, because
Awesome, Dan.
again, I mean, we talked about a lot, but there's a lot more.
Absolutely. I appreciate that, Dan. I'll definitely, I've got your information, your email more readily available. Hopefully it won't just be a crossing in the wind, but
Yeah, that's okay, man. I get it. We're all busy.
that's right. Well, good luck. I'm looking forward to checking out that, was it New Reality TV Network?
New reality TV. Yeah, like I said, it's set up just like Netflix, where you see like a video here, 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 and you just click on the ones that you want to,
It,
and
and
yeah.
is it going to be called in Beyond the Veil on that as well?
Yeah, so you'll see my show on there again. You'll see like my background and me kind of sitting there. It's one of my profile. The picture of me looks like a really good, handsome version of me because it's a really good picture. Doesn't look like this guy, but yeah, you'll see me, and it'll say "Beyond the Veil" with Daniel Jackson.
Awesome. Well, looking forward
Yeah,
to it. You have a great night.
you too, man. Have a good one. See ya.